into. Just all right. Looks like we got audio this time. Never know sometimes with these Twitch lives. All right. All right. So let's jump into it. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. Once again, live on Twitch. It's Saturday night. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day, night, or whatever it is in your neck of the woods or in your part of the world. Uh, Over here, for me, this week has been a pretty up and down week in real life. Don't want to get too much into what's going on outside of here, or to other than to say, it's very interesting, when you're dealing with family medical situations and even your own personal medical situations. And also at the age I am at, I'm kind of right now at the peak of my middle age, middle agedness, and having to deal with some of the medical things that come up regarding that, and kind of a thing that was a little bit of a revelation this week, even though it was more so dealing with my partner than myself at this point. But it's just an eye opener as to something that will come up at some point down the line. For me as well, as I get up in age, is just kind of dealing with the process of when you are not able to care for yourself, or even in a short-term situation here, because my partner had a medical procedure this week, and as a part of that process, they were unable to care for themselves for a short period of time. But it just kind of makes you think about those situations a little bit, and even something like that may happen, where you're that way for a long period of time. For some people, depending on how long you live, that might be something that you have to think about, or at least a possibility. In life, you never know. Some of us, when we leave here, we'll leave here quickly, and some of us, when we leave here, we'll leave here slowly. And hate to try to start stream off on a somberish note, but just some things that have been kind of in play in my universe this week, among a lot of other things. And then also just some general housekeeping things around the home and stuff like that. But that's all part of the different aspects of life, and dealing with different things. But enough about that. But just kind of jumping right into it. That's in part why even though I was able to end up going live later in the evening with well, actually later in the week with WWE 2K25, which is the other game that I've been playing that's kind of been taking greatly away from my time with Farming Simulator lately, and it's become my game of choice, even though I haven't put Farming Simulator down. In fact, part of why I was delayed getting started tonight is because Giants put out a boatload of mods today, and I wasn't even aware that they put mods out, because normally Saturday is not a day when they release mods, and today they released a multitude of mods. And when I loaded up the game, I was not expecting to see. Well, it's not unusual for them to maybe sometimes every once in a while release one or two mods, but they released a motherload of mods today. And I literally was just going through those mods here, because I've those of you that's been following me long enough know that I'm also a bit of a sports guy. And right now the NCAA March Madness Final Four game is going on with Florida and Auburn, and trying to keep up with that in the background. Also, I'm also big on keeping up with it, Farming Simulator and WWE 2K25 YouTubers and different stuff that's going on there, and even doing my own gameplay and content with WWE 2K25 and with Farming Simulator 25, and all these things are going on at the same time. It's just kind of crazy to try to keep up with it sometimes. Also, as I'm going on and rambling here a little bit tonight, I also just didn't even finish my intro. But I hope everyone's having a wonderful day, night, or whatever it is in your neck of the woods or in your part of the world. As you can see, kind of what's going on here. Let me get you kind of set up. I've been doing a few things off camera here. We've been, still running the sawmill, still running through our our fields and everything. We have planted barley on field 2. We have harvested grass on fields 3, 4, and 5. I did all of that off camera. Uh, and we have advanced. We're now in the month of September. I need to look at the crop calendar now, but make sure I'm not missing anything because we are starting to get to the point now. We have so many things going on. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any planting windows. Uh, One of the things I'm kind of aggravated with is I did not know that I had accidentally turned crop destruction on, and I damaged some of the canola field here on 6. So as soon as that harvest, I'm going to go ahead and harvest that. But it's not a huge deal, but it's just a little annoying that I missed that. Normally, that's not something I do, but it is here. Also, it looks like all of these fields are showing that they need plowing. Oh my. Hmm. Uh, yeah, that's one of the things you run into when you purchase fields sometimes. I really probably need to reset all of these fields and just plow them all over. Like I say, I think my plan here with 6, 7, and 9 is I'm going to merge these fields into one gigantic field going across this entire area, kind of similar to what it already is, but just merge all 3 of these. I'll keep field 8 as it is, but it looks like since they're already kind of saying that they need plowing, I'm just probably just going to go ahead and plow over uh 7 and 9, right? Why is 7 showing we? Oh, okay, never mind. I know what that is. So I think what we'll do tonight, and I'll probably get started on that right here immediately, is we'll go ahead and plow over 7 and 9 right now, and once we harvest 6, we'll go ahead and plow over 6. In fact, what do we have on 8? We on field 8 we have uh we have red beet. So I keep this field. I keep beets in this field. I just have to decide. I guess technically they're all the same thing, but we'll probably we'll plow over all 3 of these. So let's go ahead and do that now. It's getting kind of late here, but let's go ahead and lease a plow and just reset all of these fields. So let me get my trusty implement that y'all have seen me use before when we're working contracts. Well, it seemed like an endless period of time before we got enough cash to even get this series going with where we're at now. Now, just got to get my bearings together here on where the plows are. I'm still not totally used to these changed up menus in Farming Simulator 25. I guess part of that, though, is because I'm not always in the game as much as I used to be, because I actually been uh, spending a lot more time playing WWE 2K25 lately. So let's see. We want to do the subsoil MT. We have a couple of other mods installed, and everything you see on this game, if you're having trouble finding it, you should just go to the in-game mod hub and you'll find everything here. Because I'm on console, I don't use anything that's not outside of the in-game mod hub. The only other thing you might run into is sometimes if a mod got pulled from the mod hub and I may have it installed uh, and did not uninstall it before it got pulled from the mod hubs. There's maybe some rare instances where I might have a mod that you won't find on the mod hub, and if such is the case, that will typically be the reason why. Is because the mod got removed and I just happen to still have it installed on my system. All right, so wait a minute, the 12. If we use the 12, that's 340. I don't think I have a tractor that has running 340 horsepower. The most powerful tractor that we have is how many horsepower? So I gotta remember that. Unless I want to lease a tractor and then just run it that way. Let's see. All right, that's 175, and then the Fendt is 246. So going back to the shop. plows. So the most that we could run without bringing in another tractor is 246. Okay, that's the 6 requires 260, so 320. So we're gonna have to lease one anyway, ain't we? 'Cause I don't have anything that runs anywhere that kind of horsepower. And that's gonna greatly add to the cost of what we want to do here. So I thought I had so I only have a small and a medium tractor. Basically, I don't have a large tractor yet. That's something that we're going to need to rectify in a not too distant future, man. Uh, let's see here. Let's see, large tractors. I always go for the Valtra, but we got some new mods here that can make this whole thing a lot more interesting now. The big buds were released this week, and maybe we'll have a little fun with one of them. I don't want to go too crazy. Uh, in fact, we got one that's 180. How many horses is that? 360. All right. Right. Let's hop back over to the plows. Let me make sure I clearly understand how wide I want to go and then how much horsepower. So we don't want to go too spin crazy. I at least want to run a 9 MT. 12 is probably overkill, but that's 340 horsepower. If we run a 12, let's go back to the buds here. This could be fun. I don't really ran the buds. That's up to 360. All right, so small frame will be plenty. I just got to get to the point. Where is the engine selection at? Flag, axle, tinted glass, exhaust material, attachers, wheel rim, wheel setup, design, exhaust, beacon light, cab option. Okay, where is axle type 1 filter, short, flag? I don't see where you could change the engines at. Am I missing something here? GPS system, exhaust, small, large. Okay. Oh, it's sitting at 360 already. All right, so set up standard design, vehicle kit. So let's see what some of the options are. We got blue or red, empty, USA. That doesn't cost anything, so we'll run the USA livery, exhaust. We don't need anything. Beacon light, warning trainer, beacon light, warning triangle. All that's another $300. We don't need all that, do we? Use a cab. I just want to kind of run through, see what some of the options are. Cruiser cab, GPS system. No, we don't need that because it's all nice looking stuff, but it doesn't do anything on console. But it's cool for immersion and all of that good stuff. If you want to look at that, but otherwise it doesn't do anything on console. GPS can be meaningful on PC, but you have to talk to a PC guy. I'm a console guy, so I don't know how all that GPS stuff works because I don't play on PC. I play on console. All right, flag. Yeah, flag. All right, yeah, let's fly glory. What the heck? Do tinted glass. Nope. Exhaust material. Chrome. Where's that at? Just want to play with it a little bit here. Where's the chrome? Original chrome. Yeah, original. Attachers standard. 3-point. Yeah. Do we need a 3-point? Well, if we're pulling a plow, standard. Wait a minute. As I'm going through all of that, make sure that tractor has the attacher that I need. Don't want to screw myself here. So before, um, Yeah, that's a 3-point. Right. Yeah. So I need to make sure that tractor has a 3-point. 9 MP, and we can go ahead and lease that now. And the 9 MT requires 320 at least. All right. So back to the tractors. I'm trying to make sure. I don't know. I don't know what kind of tractor that is right there. Hold on. Okay, that's on the front. All right, so I'm a little confused about the big bud there. I've never used it before, and I probably need to test it before I go jump right into it because I don't even know what kind of attacher that is right there. Yeah, so we're not going to experiment on that at the moment because I'm confused by that already. 350, that's 350. So we need to do this on a budget though. That's 325. All right, 254 for the Valtra, but it's going to be more than that once we bump the engine up. We only need 370, 340. We only need about the 340, and that bumps us up to 267. So if we get that one. We also got the Massey 9S, but if we bump that up to 340, that sets us back 272. All right, let's go over here into the mods and see if we got anything that's a little more workable. 279, 272, 266, 262. But we need it to be in the 3 range. 415, 385, that's too much. We don't need that much. 355, we don't need that much. 326, 277. All right. All right. And let's go ahead and lease that. I'm spending too much time on this. All right. Oh, let's hop over to the shop. All right. Go ahead and use Cloud. In this case, we're using a 9 MT. We put them all the way up to 12. But see, I got to play around with these big boys to actually see how they operate because I'm not too familiar with that type of hitch that's on the back of those big buds. So I need to understand, and I just need to do it off camera. Now, on the live during real time is not the time to learn about tractors and hitches and all that wonderful stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and unfold this bad boy here. Go ahead and get this field cloud up and ready. We'll come back. We'll cloud these fields up. In fact, we'll go ahead and merge the other fields, and we'll come back and merge the other field at a later time. And we can go ahead and jump ahead in the game and go ahead and plow and merge those other fields and have this prep and ready to go, where we only need to merge one more section of the field when we harvest seed canola on that other field. Right now we're just going to go ahead and plow this up right here and come through and do our lime, our tones and all that other good stuff, and just prep these fields and reset all of these fields. Let's get them prepared and ready to go. Looks like this will take the majority of the time on what we're going to be doing probably tonight. Looks like I also have another couple of deliveries I need to do to both of the project sites, the grain elevator museum, and also to the playground project. We finally got the sawmill to the point where it's only spitting out the good bean pallets right now, because that's all we need right now. So I just changed the setting to the sawmill, so that's the only thing that's outputting right now. And then when we need other types of wood pallets out, we'll make adjustments to those settings so that it can distribute those other pallets as well. The cool thing about that sawmill is that it outputs pallets at a very quick, fast rate. And what's happening right now is the production of certain pallet types is outpacing the capacity for me to use them on some of the different projects on the map. So we just have to kind of slow that down a little bit. Once I get this field started up and going properly here, I'll probably step away and permanent a worker who's on the field. Hopefully they won't ruin the work I've already done and got it set up. But I just have to go back and check it to make sure that no areas of the field are missed before we move forward into another activity. One of the things I kind of do, I like doing sometimes, is when you look at the heads-up displays, it'll show you that the entire field is done. But then when you look down on the ground and you actually work in the field, you see there are areas that are missed that don't show up on the heads-up display or on the filters. And so you have these random spots on fields that are not processed properly, and that's always kind of annoying sometimes. It'll be just like some random spot somewhere. That comes up more often when you're dealing with workers. When you do stuff manually, that happens less frequently, but it definitely comes up a lot of times when when you have the workers doing things. You're not watching them, through the entire process, so you can't exactly see where those little spots might come up at. can turn it to hire a worker now. What they'll do here. Now it's setting up, and you see potential for missed spots. Alright, so looking at the worker, he does look like he's doing his thing. That's just still want to keep an eye on it, though, because there's definitely still great potential for missed spots all over the field. So good. It's not doing horrible, but we definitely got some areas that I'm gonna have to go back over manually. And after we finish here, then we'll go ahead and plow these these other fields, and I keep referencing these other fields, and the other fields that I'm talking about are fields 7 and 9. I just want to make doubly sure, since I think we did have, but let me double check that now. I did turn crop destruction back off, but let me double check because I thought it was off before, but it was on, and I don't know how the setting changed. I've done other things, but I guess I never saw because at the time I didn't have my own fields outside of the grass field. And crop destruction doesn't really impact grass fields like how it does regular crops, so it could honestly just never have been changed. But I thought in my head that I had turned it off. But sometimes you live and you learn. Let's take a peek at the heads-up display and see what that's showing. Okay, so you see those dots, you see those strips, you see all those little dots there. Those are the little things that happen when you use the workers. They always leave little miscellaneous random mess like that is easily missed. And if the heads-up display is showing you that much, then it's on the field is probably even more randomness than that, goes next. See if he picks up those other little spots that are showing up on the heads-up display. Alright, so let's drop in here, put the plow here, and go straight ahead. Straight ahead a little more. Okay, so it does look like he's trying to pick those spots up. Alright, and he says all work is complete. Heads up shows that there's no missed spots. I don't completely trust the heads up, like I said. We're going to drive the field a little bit just to make sure. such may be the case. Maybe we're done here. So let's move on to our other two fields that we want to plow. All right, let's slow it up. Drive this little side road right here. And these are the other fields that we want to work. 7. I think this is on the east side. Merge this field with 9. This is 9 over here, right? And so how do we want to come across? Directly across. This field kind of runs a little bit wider. So we unfold this across and carry that to. Still gonna have this weird looking angle. It's like they squared off they tried to square off the corner when they should have went straight. Alright, and I want to go straight, so let's do allow create fields, a little plow, and straight across. Like that. And that's that section. And we want to come over on the back side and do the same thing. And we keep the side road right there. That's fine. At least this merge appears to be more straight up. I just put the plow lined up how I want it. Yeah. Here, that's it. That up. Just plow over this road. And bring all of this together. And voila. We have merged the fields. And that's how it looks in the heads-up display right now. We got a little bit of a dipsy-do here. We could kind of bring this out wider and straighter and see if we can kind of bring this over a little bit. Don't want to bother with that. Kind of widen this out a little bit. I think I will. Have some room to work there. Still create some more of an angle, but you're kind of going to have an angle anyways. No matter, you can't get around that. You're going to have a little bit of an angle right here. So that those parts of the field are merged. After we harvest the canola here, then we'll come back and merge here from here to here, and then come on this end and merge from here to here. Separation already unknowingly damaged crops here. Alright, so let's turn off the back on limit to fields, and let's continue to plow these fields. So let's go ahead and load the plow. Go ahead and plow through everything over here. Alright, get that all plowed up. So what I'm going to do is similar to what I did on the other field. I'm going to kind of define the edges, at least the headlands around the outside of the field, and then I'm going to try to see if I can leave it to the AI to finish the inside portions of the field. In real life, normally how they would do it is they work inside out. So we're kind of doing the opposite of that right now. But I think the AI will have less trouble, and I don't want the AI to accidentally kind of plow over the other field here, the canola field over there, kind of like I already did, or like it already did. I just didn't see it because I didn't know that crop destruction was on. Another pass, and then we should have enough room provide more than enough space for the AI to work. So let's drive that down. So I went ahead and hired the AI worker, and let's kind of stay tuned a little bit and watch to see how they do. So we pick the spot dead center and just kind of drive it through. Seems to be doing a good job so far, though. Skipped over the previously plowed section there because we already kind of created a field, and that section is already plowed through. One thing I am kind of worried about, though, is like when we do plant the crop in the field, that the AI doesn't exhibit the same behavior, and that it goes all the way across the parts that have been merged, and doesn't think that it's supposed to stop there, because all this should be one continuous field now. Because that's the whole point of merging the field in the first place. So hopefully it doesn't continue to stop when it gets here, and it's just being smart right here and not keep continuing to be unintelligent, but it's actually being smart. Yeah. It's just gonna run through and pick up that section. It's a beautiful thing today. Kind of multitasking here. still seems to be doing fairly well. Still got a few patches that are missed, but that's to be expected considering, excuse me, the unorthodox shape of this particular field. It's actually doing much better than I thought it would. And I'm interested to see what he does once he plows through this larger section here. I mean, yeah, all you got is the little skip traces. If he picks up all the different little areas that are kind of like skips all around the outskirts of the field, and we'll see here momentarily if he does what kind of job he does with those parts of the field. Alrighty. Still looking good so far, and not taking a whole lot of time. We're coming up on 11:40 here, so it's we're almost about to roll over into a new day, and we got most of the field done already. And we already plowed through one of the fields that we wanted to plow through, and we got these other two fields merged, and we're almost done plowing these other two fields as well. So we actually are doing pretty efficiently here. I'm pretty happy with what's happening right now. And I'm excited to see how it all turns out here in the end. Like I said, we still got a long way to go. We're finally up to a point where we have a decent amount of money income coming in on the farm. I'd still like to expand the operations of my farm to some other farms on this map. There's about 4 other areas on this map with farms that we could purchase. There's an area here. Let me make sure let me reference my notes before I get too crazy. Yeah, there's actually 5 other areas on the map where there are farmhouses and farms that we could pick up and purchase. The only one we probably may not mess with too much is an area in where field farm ID 80 is at, I think it is, where you got like a lot of horse equipment and stuff at. I don't know if I'm going to mess with horses on this series or not. I've done horses in a few other previous series, and part of the reason I did that before is because not a lot of streamers do horses, so I just thought I would throw something a little different in there. But horses can be a bit tedious, but this area here and ID 80 is all kind of set up for horse husbandry. You got a nice little field over here at 81 as part of that, but this area here is kind of all horse husbandry type of stuff. And I don't know if I want to get into that on this series. I really haven't even done that much with the new crops here, other than you see me work them on contracts. But I haven't done anything with rice. I'm not even that familiar with how that whole process worked. Right, I haven't used any of the new equipment. It just seems like it's a lot more work than it's worth for what you get out of it. When I do acquire some farmland that has a rice field on it, I may get into it at that point in time. But it just seems like a lot of extra work. Uh, it's just not a crop that I'm too crazy about doing. It's great that we have a new crop or two in the game here because we got rice. We got let's go back here to that menu. So we got rice. We got long. I might try messing around with some long grain rice because that to me doesn't require as many steps and as much of a drawn out as of a process as the rice crop does. I just have no interest in doing that. I would do sugarcane. I have done sugarcane in the past. If you guys have followed me on my 19 Farming Simulator 19 and Farming Simulator 22 series, but it's like 25. It's just like they didn't even really put some of the equipment that was in the game before that actually made um, small scale and large scale sugarcane harvesting and growing a little less painful. They didn't even put the small sugarcane harvester in the game at all for 25. And in fact, some of the decisions that they made on some of the equipment that's in the game is just puzzling to me. Like, some of the stuff they took out, some of the stuff they put in, it's a little confusing. Still a lot of good stuff, but there's also there's a lot of hits with 25, but it's also a few misses here and there from stuff that people that have been playing the game for a long time are used to. Some of the changes I understand, some other changes I don't. To me, some of them have been for the better and some have been for the worse. Overall, the game is definitely improved, but it's just there's also some cool stuff to me that they took away that it didn't bring forward in this latest version of the game. I still haven't seen that smaller sugarcane harvester, and actually like a lot of players don't like doing sugarcane, but I guess I'm one of the few in the minority that actually do, and I like using harvesting with that smaller sugarcane harvester. I really wish it would have made it into 25, but unfortunately we don't have it. Um, but again, some of the other new crops, I think red beet is a new crop, carrots is a new crop, parsnips is a new crop, green beans, peas, spinach, all those are new crops. And some of them have pros, some of them have cons. One of the drawback to a couple of the new crops here is they have separate harvesters that are required to harvest them that are kind of pretty expensive. And that being here, if we go to where we at, seeding, uh, to get in the right menu here, yield improvements, combine harvesting, when we're and the harvesters, those are the standard harvesters, but there's separate harvesters for some of the new crops. Oh yeah, it's under root crops. Yes, see, you got to have a separate harvester for spinach, a separate harvester for green bean, a separate harvester for peas, and each of these are their own separate pieces of equipment, and that are very expensive. Like the spinach harvester is $635,000. Green bean harvester is $498,000. The pea harvester is $571,000. That's and then if you count your separate vegetable harvester, you're talking about another, you know, $600,000 depending on which harvester you elect to go with. Uh, and even if you were to use this one, uh, and this harvester is difficult to use as a single player in the game because you have to have a trailer going riding alongside it to actually work the way it's supposed to work in real life. It's in In this game, this is actually more of a two-player operation, but it can be done in single player, but it's not easy. So you're kind of regulated to using one of these pull-alongs or using something that's modded in order to to kind of be able to do the root crops. You just kind of, as a single player, you're kind of forced to play a little bit unrealistic when it comes to doing root crops to a certain degree, depending on the root crop, and just in order to be fairly efficient. The AI is just has a hard time kind of navigating around, and plus, you don't know what the AI worker's trying to do either. So it's kind of on both sides. That's why I'm glad we finally got some mods to kind of help us out with that. Such as the TARDIS pack from Obantana and the Colossus pack. Uh, to kind of help us along with some of that. And you know, I know some guys in the community are hardcore about playing realistic, and there are guys that like to play real unrealistic and have fun. I kind of fall more into that second camp, kind of in between the two. I fall kind of in between the two camps. At times I want to play realistic, and there are other times where I just want to get stuff done because I don't have, you know, I I do have a lot of, well, it depends on the week, but I do have time to sit and play the game for hours at a time. But I have other games I want to play too, not just spend hours playing Farming Simulator 25. I also have a life outside of the game, and so I don't not my idea of gameplay time is not always uh, sitting playing virtual farming for hours at a time. I have done it before. I've done it in 19. I've done it in 22, and I just have I've put my hours in this game and in this series, man, and I just have no desire to do it anymore. I mean, guys, if you could look at my log on 19 and 22, man, I put the hours in this game, but it's just not always my idea of fun all the time. Although I have done it, just to kind of smooth out and free my mind and get my mind off some other stuff that's real. Like I was talking about earlier, man, real life is really can throw some challenges at you sometimes, man. And I'm kind of in that space right now, like just trying to get through it, man. I don't know about some of you guys, but I do have a faith in God, and I do pray to God and believe to God, and I know that God will see me through. I'm not one of those, as I like to call it, holy roller types. I know I'm not the type of guy that's beating down the church doors every time church opens. I do believe in some of the religious dogma, but not all of it. Not a lot of it these days, because I've seen what people do that are part of that. I've seen what people do that are outside of that, and generally speaking, when it comes to people, there ain't much difference. It's just that some like to poke their chest out and say I'm this, I'm that, but at the end of the day, you're also this and that. Whether you choose to be of the cloth or not of the cloth, somewhere in between. That doesn't make you. Other people want to believe it makes them better. So those that do that, those that pay their tithes and still live this, all, whatever kind of life they want to live, it's to each his or her own. But I don't follow that dogma. I see the people do this, and I see them do that, and they're paying their tithes, and they're doing all this other stuff, and they're still living, a wicked life. So, it's, but they're in church every Sunday, but they're still doing wickedness. So take it for what it is. It doesn't make any man, better than the other man that's not in church every Sunday doing this, that, and the third. I digress. All right. So we got both of the fields plowed up. So we want to turn on our filters and look and see what our stones are doing. Let's see. There we go. So there's our stone. So that's the next thing we want to do is we want to come through with a stone picker, and that's going to give us the cultivated state. And Do we still want to keep the plow? Or do we just want to wait and lease? Because when is the harvest coming up for field 6? Let me see here. Let me see something real quick. Field 6 is in the final growth state. So when will 6 be ready to harvest? Let's go over crop calendar. 6 will be ready to harvest. Is that October? Let's see here. I'm confused. What crop is that? Okay. Soybeans. Okay. So soybeans will be ready to harvest when? Yeah, in October. All right. So we just might as well keep this right now because we're just going to harvest and then we'll be able to plow that through. So we won't. So I don't even want to miss. So we're not going to do the stones yet. We'll just leave them on. We'll keep this piece of equipment because we can go ahead here. Let's go ahead and sleep. We're done for now, but we're going to keep this lease equipment out. There's no point in returning it because we have to lease it right back out again, and we don't need to repay those initial lease fees. So let's go ahead and sleep. Move over to October. There it is. All right, so we're 8 in the morning. Let's tend to our animals first, and then we'll get into all the other activities that we need to do. We should have some new planks here. All right, let's go ahead and grab those planks. Pallets. And again, I've only got the sawmill set right now to just put out these wood beam pallets and nothing else until our projects require other materials. And I know it's a kind of a huge ask, trying to work both of these projects at the same time, but that's literally what I'm trying to do. I don't know if anybody streaming has done that as of yet, but that's what I'm trying to do right now. See how it all kind of works out, but that's what I'm trying to do right now as we're trying to build both of the capital projects at the same time. That's almost ready. Well, then we'll come back to that. Let's go get our animals fired up. Let's fire up the John Deere. Alright, let's go ahead and just stop our rock and get her fueled up a little bit before we get to working here. So let's go ahead. A little decent. If a folks screaming, okay, that's unrealistic. It's just like going to the shop. I just went to the general store, picked up some fuel, brought it back to the farm. Just choose to streamline it by just doing it from this point here, but because I don't think none of y'all want to sit here and watch me driving back and forth from the store to the field. I could do that, but I don't think that's going to be everybody's idea of entertainment. So that's why I just do it that way to kind of speed up that process. But you know, we're still kind of roundabouts, simming the same thing. We're just going through it, using a faster, or at least somewhat faster process. All right. So while I'm talking here, I'm losing track of what I was intending to do. So let's circle back around and come on to here. Unload. We'll go to grab the wheat. Do we need to grab the wheat? Oh no, we didn't need to grab the wheat. Use barley to feed the chickens, so yeah. Sorry, I had a little brain malfunction. Not used to having other crops in here. Also, just got to be mindful of when you want to sell the wheat too. We can make our best profit off of it. So I got to watch the crop prices and watch the crop calendars and so on and so forth. All right, so we want barley. All right, and we also got 37,000 liters of barley, so I could definitely stand to sell a little bit of barley too, because not all the barley we have here needs to be used to feed these chickens. All right, make sure we got to set the tippers to the right tip point. We're going to set the tip side back. And then we're back over here to feed our chickens. There's the barley. And that's it for our barley. And next up, we want to go to, so I gotta remember we got red beet, we got carrots in here. Oh man, so many crops now. I'm not used to having all these other crops in here. We gotta pay attention to the prices on those as well. So let's go to grass. And make sure we got our tipper set correctly. So let's go over here. Actually, I don't know if it needs to be on the left or the right, but let's drive through and see. Looks like we're good. Just want to make sure. Let's go tip over to the sheep. All right. Ooh, looks good. All right. And that's it for our grass. And unload our grass. And it's a beautiful thing, a beautiful thing. Next up. I don't know why I pulled off my mind is a million places at once. Guys, sorry about that. All right, let's go back in here. So we grab some straw. And that's for the cows. Pigs don't need straw because they're amply supplied. Yeah, I guess it don't matter. All right, and that's our straw. And we can unload our straw now. All right, and next up, we should be pig food. Yep. And this time we want to set our tip side to back. The pigs consume a lot of materials. You see that right there. And at some point we want to have a production going where we're producing our own pig food, but right now it's just, well, it's not that much cheaper. It's actually kind of expensive, but it's just economically feasible for right now because all the investments we would have to make to getting to what we need to produce to make our own pig food, just cheaper to buy our pig food straight up right now. But if we want to save money, we're going to have to get into some point producing our own pig food. Because right now we're feeding our pigs at the most cost inefficient way to do it. Next up, total mix ration. All right, so we're dropping off total mix ration for our cows. All right, cows are fed. We go pick up some TMR from our fermentation silo. And we have millions upon millions of liters of TMR, so definitely no issues there. It just hit me here that we have wheat for our wheat production, so I just need to I'm not waiting for the market prices to update to do something with my wheat. I have enough wheat where I can do other things with it right now. I just totally space that out. Let's jump back in here. I think that's everything, right? We'll cycle back around to 31,000 liters of wheat that we have in here. We'll go ahead and pull that out, use some of it. 12,000 liters of it. And we'll bring that over here to this, because that's where the pallets spawn at. So let's bring that over here. And unload our wheat. All right, and then let's step inside and see what we can come up with here. Be like a mad scientist in our little bakery facility here. Let's go over here to the gear icon, or wrench icon. And these are the possible production chains we have. Production chains or products we have in here. We have bread. Yeah, we could do flour bread, rice flour bread. We could do cake, rice cake, chocolate cereal, cereal from long grain rice, cereal with raisins, corn flour, corn tortilla, oat flour, rice cakes from long grain, rice flour from long grain, wheat flour, whole wheat bread, whole wheat flour. Now we have the wheat. Now, what is the recipe for wheat flour? Okay, whole wheat bread requires whole wheat flour. What do we have? Oh, whole wheat flour requires 20 wheat. All right, so do bread, flour from flour. So let's activate that one. Well, what are the ingredients for that though? Wait a minute, go back to that one, bread. Oh, we need flour. And we have flour. We activate wheat flour because we have enough wheat for that. Whole wheat bread. We can activate whole wheat flour as well. And we can activate, whoops, gosh, dog it. Stop doing that. We can activate that one. And we want that change to selling and bread. Yes, cereal with chocolate. What's the recipe for chocolate cereal? Need honey, need chocolate, need oat and corn. We don't have all those inputs. It's long grain rice cereal requires honey and long grain rice. We don't have those. For raisin cereal, we need honey, raisins, oat, and corn. We don't have those yet. Corn flour, we need corn tortilla, we need corn flour. Oat flour, need oat. Rice cakes, we need rice. Don't have that. Rice cakes, same deal. Rice flour, same deal. We got wheat flour. Okay, then we got the wheat flour just set to distributing. Whole wheat flour set to distributing. Wheat bread this will be the selling. All right. Yeah. All right. So I think we're good now. Inputs. We have our incoming materials. We have our wheat incoming. All right, so we're in business there with another little production chain scenario we got going on there. And we're gonna go ahead and grab another load of wheat. Might as well. And put that off in here. So we have plenty of wheat to kind of feed our productions at least for a little while. I don't know how fast this production outputs, so hopefully it won't churn through everything before we have a chance to harvest and get some more materials into the production chains. Otherwise, we might have to buy some materials in order to keep it going and not have production stoppages. And that's everything we got going so far over here. I do think I want to come in here and double check our dairy production to make sure we're not missing anything over here either. Buffalo milk is kind of struggling, and back in the buffalo milk productions are going to kind of struggle because we don't have a lot of buffaloes to produce a lot of milk. Yeah. But all of our stuff that's based on cow milk should be doing okay, but it looks like we're struggling with supplies on that end of things as well. That should kind of fluctuate depending on how much milk the cows are producing, I would think. I've been keeping a close eye on it. Yeah, because milk supply is kind of low. It's only 5,550 liters in here right now. All right, hold on one moment.
Okay, apologies for that. I'm back online. All right, trying to figure out where I was at here. Okay, we're trying to see what's happening. The milk, look. Here it's showing 5,550 liters in the cow barn right now. That should be being distributed over to the dairy production. Then we go here in the settings and make sure that's happening. Bottled milk, buffalo milk. Well, let's go back over to regular milk. Bottled milk, and it's set to selling. And let's see, milk is showing that we have 0 liters coming in. So what's happening there? Why is there a bottleneck? Materials missing. All right, let's see here. And let's go back over here to the cow barn. Milk. We don't have a automatic milk distribution set up, do we? No. See, do we have any options here? Is that something that we need to do manually? All right, so let's go. Where's my tanker trailer? All right. Okay, we got 558 liters of buffalo milk. We'll pick that up and bring that over.
Okay, unload that here. And then we got 5,550 liters of milk. Buffalo milk. And we'll pick that up and bring that over. All right, now let's go back and check our productions. All right, so now the buffalo milk production is at least temporarily happy. Let's go. Buffalo mozzarella is happy. The buffalo milk butter is good. Butter is good. Cheese is good. Chocolate, for chocolate, we need sugar. We don't have sugar production yet. We don't have goat. The goat milk and the goat cheese are supplied, and bottled milk is selling. All right. And that's kind of my fault for totally missing that earlier. While we're here, we will go ahead and also do our slurry. And it kind of goes without saying, obviously, in real life, if we were doing these things, we'd have a separate tanker trailer for each process so as to avoid contamination. There's another 20,000 liters of slurry right there, because we can only carry a max of 50,000 liters. Alright, and we'll back up here and then unload that slurry. And I think this can hold up to 75,000 liters. Don't need to think though, we can actually go look. Alright, so slurry, yeah, 75,000, got 50,000. And much like our pig food, it may be cost effective to, when we have lapses in production, to go ahead and buy it to make sure we're fully supplied at all times, because we'll make that money back on the back end. And I may even do the same thing with our dairy productions as well, until we have enough cows and we're producing a steady supply of milk across the board. right. Let's drop off a storage supply. Ooh. 69,000, so we're running another 5,000 more. All right. Out there, so I think I might do it, just buy another 5,000 liters just to max it out. Let me see how much that would cost me. Oops, didn't mean to get that much. Yeah, that only cost me $329, so that's very cost effective. We have a 75 sands up to an additional 225 liters of overflow. I just give that a little time to process, and I can unload that 225, and then we'll probably do the same thing for our dairy productions, at least for a little bit. Alright, that's done there, and we'll just park you there for the short term. And I think we'll wrap it up tonight is let's go make our deliveries to our 2 projects, and we finally have another pallet here, almost right on cue. And that'll be our last one for tonight. Okay, and while I'm here, it might be a good opportunity to go ahead and do a little screenshot, and I think I'll do that here. Capture screenshot, and bring that back up, and we'll go ahead and do our deliveries. And while we're headed that direction, I'll go ahead and do my usual spiel that I do on the wrap up every live. I'm Bose831 Gaming on most of your major social media platforms: Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, so on and so forth. Wherever it is you're running across my content, as always say, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You know, I can get better and provide the content that you want to see with your feedback. So please keep it coming. Episodes of my Twitch live stream series are uploaded to my YouTube channel, typically in their entirety. Give or take some cuts here and there, depending on what may or may not have happened on the episode. But I don't heavily edit my content as of yet. That's something I may want to get into the future, but I'm not quite there yet. I haven't really gotten to my phase of doing a lot of pre-recorded content yet. Gotta work on that skills. I've been doing this for a little bit. My skills are still kind of limited here and there, and as things grow and I have more resources, so definitely whoops, and that's new. I definitely like to get into doing different things, but I'm not quite there yet, and that's another big stark reminder there. I to my rookie skill set. Steering mode. They're driving down the road and don't even have my low loader lifted up. That's very rookie there. And again, looking at these graphics, for those of you who want to say this is a reskin FS22, you're not looking very hard. Alright, but we have arrived. And let's see. Oh no, we're asking for is 12,000 wood beam over here. I don't think we have quite 12, but we do have quite a few. Let's see how many we can get loaded in here. We definitely got a few of them though. We'll try to shoot that shot at 12,000. Alright. And how many is that? That is, we're up to 6,000. So halfway there. 7, 8, 9. Alright, we might have exactly or not what we need. Two. 3. I was like, where did that other one disappear to? I didn't even remove it. It fell over the other side. Come on, Junior, I need you to cooperate. Alright, so now alright, that's 12,000, 11,940. Okay, so that's the correct amount. Alright. And just a peek at our toy tractor project, and we kind of counting down over here. In fact, I won't supply any more over here until it's asking for supplies. But now any more wood beams that we get, we can take those to the grain elevator project, as the playground project should be, but it is fully supplied until it's ready for the next phase. mist coming through right there. So those damaged trees, those are all the result of a tornado that came through this area. You really see it right here is so we go ahead and lower that so that we can get everything loaded up on that on the next trip. We're done here. Then we can go ahead and shut that operation down. And we should be ready to growth. So that's still showing the next to the last growth state. Why? Oh, because we're still in September. Woo! I totally missed that one, didn't I? Brilliant. All right, so let's roll through one more day because we've done what everything else we're gonna do today. Because a big thing we want to do right now is just get over to harvesting canola so that we can merge those other two fields. Looks like most of that's gonna probably end up happening off camera though, but you got an idea of how that all looks like, what that all looks like, and how we're gonna do it. And once we finish plowing up that field after we harvest and merge those fields after we harvest, then we're gonna come through with the stone picker and pick the stones, which will basically also cultivate the field. Then we'll come through and line the field, and then we'll come through and plant and fertilize. And we're going to probably do sugar beet. We'll probably do sugar beet on field 8, and then we're going to do wheat on the merged fields of 6, 7, and 9. 6 is showing ready to harvest. We're already running overtime. I want to thank everyone for tuning, but looks like we're going to end up doing the harvest off camera, and the merging and all of that will probably be done off camera as well. Because we did have a little bit of a late start, we're not exactly into the fully in overtime phase yet, but we're rolling into that because it's only a couple of minutes late. All right, but I'm going to go ahead and get the harvester. We're going to get that started, get all that done. I want to thank everyone for tuning in and checking me out tonight. You've been tuned in to another episode of Bose 831 Gaming Live on Twitch. We've been running Farming Simulator 25, and I don't even think I said that earlier. We're on the Riverbend Springs map, which is one of the 3 base game maps in Farming Simulator 25. And thank you again for tuning in, checking me out, and I will catch you on the flip side. Have a good night, everyone. Ooh, we got an interesting tractor on sale there. It should be Fast Track 8830. Is that a large tractor? It sure is. You don't get a lot of options with it though. That's what a new one looks like. And we can get that for $158,000, Junior. And also this SSI FFM planter. How many meters is that planter? 6.5 for 17,000. That's all right. But that's all we got for tonight. Thank you for tuning in and checking me out. And I will catch you all on the flip side. Have a good night, everyone. We might be doing some shopping off camera as well. You know how we do. Yeah, I'm buying that one. Before we hop off, guys, yeah, we're buying this one. For now, we don't have a large tractor. Now we do. And looking at this planter, like, wait a minute, what does it plant? No, it's not versatile enough. I want it, but no.